Hi everybody, it's Natalie here from Secret Wealth Project. I hope you are well. Today I wanted to talk to you about something that we often come across within the Secret Wealth Project group. It's a question that normally gets answered on quite a regular basis. So I wanted to just create a video discussing this particular subject, this particular topic, and if it's something that has either affected you or is affecting you, then hopefully you will find this quite helpful. So as I said, it's something that we do come across on a regular basis. It probably is going to affect newer sellers more than more experienced sellers when selling on Amazon, but it's something that we do see, as I said, coming up on a regular basis. So what I'm talking about today is how to set your Build International Listings option on your Amazon Seller Central account. Now, what this actually relates to is when you sell on Amazon, especially when you sell on amazon.co.uk, you have the option to sell globally within different marketplaces. Now, if you are just starting out, then it may well be that you are not aware that you can actually sell within the different European marketplaces, so 5 marketplaces in total, and that is the French, German, Spanish, Italian, as well as the UK site as well. Now, you've probably set it up within the UK market, so that is considered to be your source market. But what you can actually do is you can send goods into Amazon FBA. When they are held in a UK distribution centre, then you can also advertise those products for sale within the different European marketplaces. What will then happen is once they're advertised for sale, once a customer purchases it, your goods are dispatched from the UK distribution centre. Now that is commonly referred to as EFN, so the European Fulfillment Network. And you don't really need to do much in order to set that up. The process that we'll go through today will enable you to set up the European Marketplace or the European Fulfillment Network settings within your account. But what actually can happen, because to sell in Europe, to use those EFN or to use that EFN facility, you are actually charged additional fees, because if you think about it, obviously your goods may have to get to Italy, or they may have to get to France, so therefore there's going to be additional costs to sell within those marketplaces, and they are actually quite high compared to the UK marketplace. So what we often find is that when this particular option is not set up correctly, then you might very quickly, once you start selling, be selling under the European marketplaces. If you've enabled the European marketplaces to sell, what you might find is that these, once your products land, that they sell very quickly. And the reason why they might sell very quickly, if you haven't made the correct setup, is all the product is selling at is the equivalent of your UK price, but in euros. Now, once you, which might be fine, considering once you take into account the conversion rate and everything like that. However, most of the time it's not, because of those EFN fees are very, very high, and generally a poor conversion rate back as well might actually see you in a position where you're actually losing money, which of course we don't want, and we see it very often within Secret Wealth Projects, especially with new sellers. So I wanted to go through that process today to show you how to avoid that, how to avoid potentially selling a product through one of the European marketplaces at a lower than desired cost, to be perfectly honest. So what you then need to do is, if you go into your Seller Central account, if you select the inventory and then you select the option of sell globally, once you select that option, it will then take you to this page, and then you want to make sure that you select Build International Listings. Once you've hit that, it will take you down to the bottom of the page, and then all you need to do is press where the red arrow is for Get Started. Once you've hit that button, it will take you through to this page. for Build International Listing. Now, you can pick anywhere you're entitled to sell, but we're going to concentrate today on the European marketplaces. So we want to make sure that we select Europe and make sure each one of the marketplaces is ticked. Once you've done that, you want to make sure that, sorry, I probably should have mentioned to start with, that your source marketplace is amazon.co.uk. So that's if you're selling from your, that will be where you're selling from your main Amazon account. So in our case, it's amazon.co.uk. And then we want to make sure that we select the European ones and individually select each one of those. Once you've done that, you can press save and continue. Now it will bring you to this page. So this is where you can set your pricing rules for what you want your products to be priced at in the European market when the stock goes live on Amazon. So what we always recommend here, and as you can see, you want to select the FBA price rule. This becomes a drop-down menu. What we want to set, there's two options you can do. You can either set it as a percentage above the UK source price, or you can set it as a fixed amount above the UK source price. We personally, my personal preference is to do a percentage, purely because you are going to have different costs and different prices for different goods. So it may well be that if you're doing a fixed amount of, say, €20 or £20 above the UK marketplace, if you're selling something that is relatively low value, then it might take the pricing well out of being competitive in order to sell that market, to sell within that marketplace. So a percentage above the source marketplace is always a really handy general rule to put across the business. At a later stage, you can go in and individually change prices. All this is doing, all this is really is a safeguard to ensure that once your products land, that you are not selling them well below their value. Because once you have a repricer, for instance, Profit Protector Pro, once you have set your pricing, then the pricing in Profit Protector Pro will automatically override this. It will automatically override this, and your minimums and maximums will kick in from your repricer. So a percentage above, and the percentage that we recommend, it did used to be a lot lower, but about 12 months ago, Amazon really upped their EFN fees. They really increased them. And so just to take into account that increase, so maybe you've sold in the past and you maybe set your percentage a little bit lower, and you've come back to selling on Amazon. If that's the case, fees have gone up, so you do want to take that into account. So what we actually recommend is to set it 50% above the UK source marketplace. But you can have a little bit of a play around, have a look at your average pricing, have a look at what you're selling for, and if you want to set it a little bit lower, absolutely, by all means, but just make sure that you do take this into account, because those EFN fees are really quite high. And once you take into the conversion rate, you know, transferring it back from the pound, transferring back from euro to pound, then a lot of the profit can be eaten away. But as I said, this is just a safeguard. Once you add Profit Protector Pro, once you put your repricer details in, it will automatically override this. It's just a safety blanket, I suppose, is the best way to refer to it. So you can set that percentage above. So once you've done that, and it's just quickly to just a quick visual representation to show you here. All I've done is I've added 50% in each one of the individual marketplaces. It will give you this warning on the Amazon account that says high price markups are likely to result in fewer sales. As I said, this is just a safety blanket, so you kind of want to ignore that a little bit. It's just making sure that you are putting this in place, so you're not going to be selling lower. So once you've done that, then just once you've set it, then press save and continue. And then it will take you through to review your settings. You can see here on each individual marketplace, 50% above the source marketplace. And just to reiterate, the source marketplace, probably in this case, if you're watching this video, is amazon.co.uk. So that's that main marketplace that you sell from. If it's one of the European ones, that will be your source marketplace. If it's Amazon.com, then it will show as the US marketplace. So once you've confirmed that that's all correct, then just press save and continue. Then you'll get a pop-up that just confirming that this change, because it's quite a big change within the system, that it can take up to 4 hours from the time you initiate the connection. So unfortunately, if you do have a sale in between that time and your stock's already landed or whatever, unfortunately, just bear that in mind. It does take a little bit of time for the changes to take place. In my experience, when it comes to Amazon, it's normally done quicker than what they've said. They're just, they just want to make sure that they're covering themselves and managing their sellers' expectations. But as I said, just be a little bit patient, keep an eye on it. But this is only going to take 4 hours once you, just the once. You only need to do this setting just the once, unless you're making any further changes to it later down the line. So don't think that every time you send a shipment in, it's going to take 4 hours every single time. No, this is a main setting that you're setting up, so it only needs to happen the once. But as it quite rightly says, you will receive an email once the change has taken place. So you just need to agree that, press the button and create the offers there. And then it will take you through to this final page where it just confirms that your request is being processed, and just to reconfirm that it can take a little while to do that. So once that's all in place, you will have the opportunity at a later stage to revise this and change the percentages. So don't think, oh, once I've done it, that's it. I can never ever change it again in the future. Absolutely not. It is something that you can change. You'll just need to go through that process again. It will take you back to the main Build International Listings stage, and then down in the the right-hand corner, there's a button where you can edit all of these settings. As I said, you can also edit settings individually via a SKU, but my personal recommendation is to get a repricer that will automatically override this. And as you know, being part of the Secret Wealth Project, Profit Protector Pro is the repricer of choice. So that's just to cover what I think essentially is it's a basic function within setting up your Amazon seller account, but it's a really, really vital one. It often causes lots of people to lose money because it's a setting that really isn't spoken about in a lot of courses, in a lot of YouTube videos. So that's why I wanted to just make this video, make sure it's covered, just reiterate the importance of making sure that this setting is in place for that really vital safety net, to make sure that you're not selling products for under what you've hoped they'll sell accidentally in the European market. So hopefully you found this video helpful. As ever, please give me a thumbs up if you've liked the video, and let me know in the comments of what you've thought of the video, and whether or not maybe this is something that's affected you in the past, or whether or not it's been useful and you feel that it might hopefully avoid you from making this potential mistake in future. Okay, well, thanks very much for listening, and I will see you soon.